nothing so painful to die without a fight. That even when you know this shark is going to kill me, let me try. Maybe I will be Moses and hold the mouth, and let that time the shark is attacking you, you die with dignity because you have put some sense of fight. But our people did not have that dignity. They died chained, and we are not here to impress anyone.
There is nothing more painful to die without putting up a fight. That was the words of Comrade Malema. So inspiring. Please try and watch the full video. It was so inspiring as he started to talk about how our ancestors were being chained and thrown into the sea, whereas they have no dignity to fight. And he said there's nothing more painful to die without putting up a fight. So I thank you very much for coming around. Please, this is your brother Dobia Anzanse. I am a missionary. We are on a mission, and our mission is all about the future of Africa. Our mission is all about the unification of Africa, and our mission is all about the dignity of the African race. How can we gain back our dignity as children of Africa? It's by uniting the continent of Africa. How do we stop the discrimination against the African race? How do we stop the dehumanization against the African race? Is by uniting the continent of Africa. If we are able to unite the continent of Africa, as children of Africa, we may gain back our dignity wherever, everywhere we found ourselves in the four corners of this world. So I thank you very much for coming around. Please, if you haven't joined our mission yet, please support our mission. Let us take our YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers. We thank you very much for helping us. We thank you very much for supporting us. Those of you who have been supporting us, we thank you very much for supporting us. We are all on this mission to see a greater Africa. So please, let us come together. As missionaries, we must counter the Berlin Conference division or petition of Africa. When the European leaders or elite went to Berlin in invitation with Van Bismarck, went to Berlin, sat down and petitioned, divide Africa among themselves. What did King Leopold did first? Before he could go in and colonize our people in Congo, he has to send missionaries, and the duty of those missionaries was to brainwash our people, was to convince our people mentally into thinking that everything about us as children of Africa was negative, and everything about them as Europeans was to be glorified by us. And then we are still going through the damage that the missionaries did to us as African people. Today, we have come out with counter missionary, and our mission is to go around the 54 countries in Africa and even in the diaspora to let the youth, the new generation of Africa, realize that everything that they told them about us was a lie. So we are counter missionaries to counter or to undo what the missionaries of the Europeans did in Africa. So please join our mission. Support our mission. If you cannot join us physically, please support us spiritually. Support us in spirit. Support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and also following us on Facebook. One Africa Mission, the number one Africa Mission, because we want to see Africa as one. So the number one Africa Mission. Until Africa is united, we are not resting as missionaries. I thank you very much for coming around. Please let us go and watch the full video as Comrade Malema spoke about the need for us to continue this mission, fighting until we see a better Africa, a dignified Africa, because we are not fighting for ourselves, but we are fighting for the next generation of Africans and those who came before us. Let us watch it. It's very interesting.
And I extend my invitation to all of you. South Africans are not xenophobic. South Africans are peace-loving people, and I extend my invitation to all of you to come and study in South Africa, to come and work in South Africa, to come and take your holidays in South Africa, because it is your home too. The same way you welcomed us here, will welcome you in South Africa. Ghanaians, the unity of this continent starts from here, because the determination The self-determination of Africa started from here. When you got your first independence, we knew that day, that one day South Africa will be free. And when Frelimo won in Mozambique, we celebrated in South Africa as if that was our freedom. But we knew that the freedom of the people of Mozambique means the freedom of South Africa, because that's how we are connected. We celebrate each other's achievement. It started here in Ghana, it ended in South Africa. The unity of Africa must start here in Ghana, and will capture it in South Africa, because we always followed the leadership of the Ghanaian people. The economic freedom of Africa will start in South Africa. We want our land. We make no apology when we say we want our land. Our land was stolen, and we want it back without paying a cent. And no one must pay for a cent everywhere in Africa when they demand the expropriation of land without compensation. These people came and stole your car, and later on you discover your car. They say, it's true, it's your car, but pay us before you get this car back. And when you ask them why you say I must pay, they say we've put Mac wheels, we've improved the car, therefore you must pay us, irrespective of them being in possession of stolen property. Anyone in possession of stolen property is a criminal, and therefore anyone in possession of our land without our permission is a land thief, is a criminal, and must be identified as such. When I say to you, demand the land, and will lead that struggle from South Africa, I know land brings about everything. For you to have a hair salon, you need land. For you to have a small shop of IT, you need land. The beautiful beaches belongs to the land. The mineral resources, the gold, iron ore, copper, and all types of mineral resources belong to the land. That's why when they came to Africa, they did not steal our women or our men. They stole the land. They knew women and men will come with the land. That's why we need to start from where they started when they offended us. We need to take the land, because once we take the land, they will start respecting us. You will never be respected if you don't own property. It doesn't matter if all of us in South Africa own property. As long as the people of Namibia, as long as the people of Ghana do not own the land, then our land ownership is meaningless, because when you go to the USA, they don't see South African, they see an African. West, they can't differentiate between South Africa and Ghana. That's why all of us must reclaim the land and the mineral resources of the land and the natural resources of the land, so that when we move all over the world, when they see a black person, they should know these are the property owners of their own continent and their own land. So when we fight for economic freedom, we should do so without being ashamed. Because political freedom that Kwame Nkrumah achieved and generations after him achieved is meaningless without economic freedom. You can vote until you are purple. As long as there is no bread on the table, that vote is meaningless. You must vote when you arrive at home. You must find bread. you must find free education, you must find quality public health, you must find reliable electricity and not what we experienced earlier on. We must make sure that we own everything that belongs to us. So Africans, I don't care how many we are, we must believe in ourselves. At least be an individually liberated African who is not scared of colonizers, who is not scared of white people, who doesn't worship the establishment, who calls a spade a spade. That is the only way Africa will be respected. This continent is one. They might think they divided it. I can guarantee you now, like we saw when Ghana got liberated in South Africa, we said one day it will happen. It came many years after, but eventually it came. The unity of this continent is going to come. And when we call on each other to come into each other's countries, we must embrace that with ease. Me being here in Ghana, I don't feel like I'm in a different country. Because in this world, there is nothing different I'm not used to in South Africa. When I look at left or right, I see my brothers and sisters. When I walk outside and drive all over, I see the poverty of Africa that I see at home. So why would I claim I'm in a different home? Because conditions are the same. So when I'm here, I'm at home. When you are in South Africa, feel at home. Don't agree with Hamas or any other thing of that nature. But please protect humanity. We need all those who want to give humanitarian support to be given a passage to enter Gaza, to send water, to send food, to send medical equipment and medicine in Gaza. Israel is refusing a passage for humanitarian intervention in Gaza. And every individual who's self-respecting, especially ourselves as Africans, can never agree with a country that can refuse people water, because water is life.
Very much. I think most of the points were just complimentary more than anything. Ntlantla is not a definition of South Africa. He wanted to use xenophobia for his rise to fame. Even Tutula movement did not belong to him. He went to hijack it for his own selfish interest, and we have reduced him to an insignificant molecule, and therefore no one can rise in Africa on the ticket of xenophobia. That is the beginning and the end of your political career. So anyone who says such politics is not worth entertaining, because they are short-lived politics and they will never be sustained, because politics are based on history, on philosophy, on ideology. Who of the ideological icons that are celebrated internationally and politically, progressively, was arisen into power on the basis of xenophobia? So that's why it's not sustainable. So please, such individuals who seek to project us as wrong people in South Africa, do not take them to heart. I like that. You see, speak truth to power. But please don't want to be liked. A lot of us, we suffer from wanting to be liked, especially being liked by people in power, because you seek favors. I seek no favor, for because I believe in myself. So you ought to believe in yourself. If you are an engineer like my brother here, if you are a doctor like my sister here, you've got the qualifications, you've got what it takes. You're not going to be scared of some illiterate because it comes from the bush and they say he's a soldier, a non-thinker, and you are scared that when I oppose this person, he will point a gun at me. You must tell him that put it here and shoot me and make sure I die. Because I'm not scared of death. I'm scared to die before I die. Because the day you stop telling the truth and you are pretending and you seek to be liked, you are dead. You are equal as a dead person because you are not enjoying anything. So when I live here, I'm not worried there's someone who's going to call and say, those things you spoke about them there, pay me the money I borrowed you. I don't owe anyone anything, nothing. I don't seek favors from a white man, from colonialists, from anyone. So my brother, don't be scared. Don't try to really impress, because you are impressing corruption. You are not impressing that person. You want to be liked by corruption. So you can't seek love from corruption. Corruption is the destroyer of future and must be fought here in Ghana, and it must be fought in South Africa, and it must be fought all over Africa. So please, let's not be scared to confront the powers that be. You know, these people, when they came to enslave our people here, they were not coming to enslave people. They came to steal the minerals. They were not coming for us. Then they ended up fetching us as well to join the minerals. We were first like minerals. We were traded like minerals. When you think of undermining the democratic achievements that we've made, think of those people who were enslaved, put in boats, in their numbers chained, taken outside of our beautiful continent by force. And they could not chain you as an individual. They have to chain you 10 by 10. When the sea goes crazy and the boat can't stand the wind, they're thinking maybe it's overweight. In the middle of the sea, they take 10 of you, they push you out of the boat so that the boat can sail with the remaining slaves. When the boat continues to continue to carry our people out of the continent, 10 of them pushed out, 20 of them pushed out, both their hands and feet chained. There is nothing so painful to die without a fight. That even when you know this shark is going to kill me, let me try, maybe I will be Moses and hold the mouth, and let that time the shark is attacking you, you die with dignity because you have put some sense of fight. But our people did not have that dignity. They died chained. And we are not here to impress anyone who wants to undermine the legacy and the struggles of those people who died chained. We are not about these people who exist now. We are about President Rawlings. We are about Kwame Nkrumah. We are about all those who came before us. These ones that are still with us will be reminded of what we come from. Because they must never think they made us. They were made by those chained slaves. Every time you want to do wrong, every time you want to undermine the struggle and the unity of Africa, remember our people died chained. They could not put up a fight. We are fighting on their behalf and will never retreat until their dignity is restored. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So that's Julian.
So yes, that was Comrade Malema when he went to Ghana. And then he spoke really well. And one thing that touched me is that when he said our ancestors were being chained in numbers, and when they feel like, when the sea got crazy, they would drop 10 of them into the sea. And those our ancestors, they could not put up a fight And he said, there is nothing more painful to die without putting up a fight. Because at least, leave my hands, let me put up a fight and die with dignity. But our ancestors didn't get that dignity. So we are here today to fight, to bring the dignity to the next generation of Africans that our ancestors didn't get. So anytime you see an African doing everything or spending his time trying to enlighten another Africans, please support him. Because we are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for those who came before us. And anytime you want to give up as an African, remember, people have come to lay down their lives for you to be in existence. Remember, anytime you want to give up, do not give up. And this I am telling the children, the youth of Africa, do not give up. You deserve better. Africa deserves better. And remember, your ancestors knew that you deserve better. That is the reason why some of them have to give up their lives for your survival. Anytime you want to give up, remember, Thomas Sankara gave up his life for you. Anytime you want to give up the fight for the freedom of Africa, remember Nkrumah gave up his life for you. Anytime you want to give up the fight for the freedom of Africa, remember Patrice Lumumba see death coming, but he stood to take the bullet so that you will survive, so that you will have a dignified life. So do not let anybody undermine. Do not let anybody, any politicians or anybody undermine the need for us to unite to bring back the dignity of Africa. Because we are not doing it for ourselves, as Comrade Malema said. We are doing it for those who came before us. We are doing it for our ancestors who were being pushed into the sea. When they see the sharks coming to them, they could not put up a fight because they were being chained by the criminals who came to take them. They were being chained by those people. So today we are fighting to gain the dignity of Africa. Not for us, but for those who came before us. We are fighting to gain back the dignity of Africa so that future generations will not go through what their ancestors went through. I keep saying it. We cannot blame our ancestors for the Africa that we inherited from them because they didn't know better. But today, me and you, we know better. And then future generations will judge us based on the decisions that we will take for the survival of Africa. And then we must push this, and I repeat, we must push this unification of Africa to the extent that any leader in Africa who is still trying to hold on onto the Berlin Conference borders will become irrelevant in the continent of Africa. Let us as children of Africa continue to push this unification of Africa that our ancestors started before us. Let us continue to push it to the extent that any leader remain in Africa who is still trying to hold on onto this Berlin Conference borders that divided us will become irrelevant in Africa, and for that matter will pack his bag and leave the continent of Africa. Let us push it that way, because we as African people, we need nothing now but the unification of Africa. So please, as a child of Africa, I know you are not happy with the Africa that you inherited from your ancestors. I know it because I am feeling it just as you are feeling it. What can we do to bring an end to the suffering of the African people all over the world? It's by uniting the continent of Africa. That is the only way we can gain back our dignity. Imagine a united Africa. Look at the United States of America. 50 states, one president, one passport, one military. Look at how they are bullying the world. One currency. Imagine with our resources as Africans, if we can bring 54 states together with all our resources, one military, with our resources supporting our military, with our resources supporting our currency. Do you think any nation can bully us as they are doing to us today? Please, if we want to bring an end to this dehumanization of the African race, please let us fight for a united Africa. I thank you very much for coming around. Please, this is your brother Dobia Anzanse. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, as I keep saying, please support us. Let us take our YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers. Please, with your help, we can do it together as children of Africa. Let us support each other for the survival of the African race. Thank you very much.